Hey guys, Crew Blonde Wave. I'm Eric.
I'm Aaron.
Aaron, it is time for the first Q&A of The Flash, right?
Yes.
Now,
Yes,
Flash was awesome. I really enjoyed it. There were a couple things that I definitely wanted to talk about, and we got a lot of questions from a lot of people. Over 100 comments, which was
there were a lot of comments.
at the time it was the highest amount of comments we had ever gotten. We've since done an episode of Game of Thrones, and for some reason that just skyrocketed. So, if you guys haven't checked that out, make sure you're checking that stuff out too.
Mm-hmm.
You can also find reactions to Flash, Arrow, Heroes, Walking Dead, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There's so much stuff that we just love talking with our subscribers, and then anybody that wants to come and chat with us as well. So, let's get right into it. These are questions for The Flash, Episode 1, The Man Who Saved Central City.
Avon Barksdale, 91, said, surprised a lot of people didn't realize that was Zoom talking to the Atom Smasher when Cisco was seeing alternate timelines. I did notice this, though.
Yeah,
Actually,
I didn't notice it.
I didn't notice it when we first watched it, but when I was editing it,
Yeah.
and I'm going frame by frame, I'm like, there's like this blue lightning shit here.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, this has to be Zoom.
So, Atom Smasher is probably from Earth 2, then, right?
I would suppose he's from wherever Jake Garrick's from, because he also said that Zoom promised he'd get him home.
Okay.
Which I would assume isn't just around the world, or else he would just go around the world.
Yeah, he could just do that. There were a couple trailers released, new trailers from New York Comic Con. We're choosing not to do them just because we want to have a very pure, unspoiled reaction when we watch these things. So from now on, we're not going to watch any more previews or anything like that. Just make sure you guys are checking out the actual episode reactions and the discussion episodes.
Now, we will be doing, though, like, before seasons or during, like, the long breaks.
Yes.
We'll do promos during that time.
Absolutely.
Not every week.
Yeah. Now, all that being said, I haven't seen anything of Zoom yet, so I don't want to be spoiled. I just know that all I've heard is that he's like a speed demon, is what I hear.
That sounds cool.
Whereas, like, Reverse Flash was like a speed scientist. He's like a speed demon. So I'm interested to see what that means.
Really mean?
Yeah.
You got to kill him with a...
Salt?
I'm trying to, like, you got to make, like, a little, like, picture on the ground.
It blows up. Supernatural.
John Millen says that in Season 1, Wayne Enterprise and Queen Consolidate merge companies, which is a printed headline from the future. So Batman does exist in this future.
Okay, because I made that comment about what if Cisco vived into a different reality.
So there is a Batman.
So there's a
Wayne Enterprise.
Not yet.
There's at least a Wayne Enterprises.
Yeah, we don't know if there is one yet.
This might be in the same time frame as Gotham.
I don't think so. I mean, Bruce is so young in Gotham.
Yeah.
He's going to be so much younger than Flash and Green Arrow?
Maybe he doesn't meet with these... Maybe he's with, like, another Flash and another Green Arrow, like, younger versions. Maybe Roy comes back and he becomes Green Arrow. Of course, he'd be older, too, but...
Yeah. Okay.
Hard to tell. Maybe neither if they tied those together, I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah. Okay, but it's a good point. I mean, they did reference Wayne Tower, so...
Yeah, Wayne Enterprise and everything. All right, Blood Prince 130. The only problem I had with this episode, other than being pretty angry with how I felt they dealt with Henry's decision to leave, which you didn't like that at all either. It did seem a little weird.
Yeah.
Was how Barry kept getting hit by the Atom Smasher. And I remember kind of thinking this too.
Yeah.
Like when he was like running at the Atom Smasher, and then this Atom Smasher just went with one hand, just hit him. So he's been shown to have reaction speed to catch arrows, dodge bullets. So how is he just getting hit by this big guy who's really not moving that fast at all?
Well, when we consider how Barry has constantly been getting faster and faster, it's because he has to focus. It's because he has a team. It's because it's something to do with like his emotional balance, and we know that he's not that now.
The fastest he's ever got was when he was like worried about everybody and the team and everything, and that's when he like time traveled trying to stop the Spartacus. What was that?
Weather Wizard.
Weather Wizard, yeah. And they're trying to stop Weather Wizard from like destroying everything.
Yeah.
So
I would say that because he doesn't have the team, because he's in such grief with the loss of Firestorm and with everything going on, he's not as fast. He's not as focused. And from Atom Smasher seems to have at least some kind of experience with speedsters because he's being sent from Zoom.
Yeah, so he must be somewhat.
So I could see it making a little sense, even though it's
I would say the biggest thing is probably that he's not focused on everything, which I think these past 6 months he's just not really been focused properly.
Yep.
Joao Moraes.
Okay.
So that Wells said, I'm going to give you what you want, but you're not going to be happy. Barry's dad then leaves. It's connected, I think. Something happened in the night that Barry's mom died, and Barry's dad that they don't want us to know.
It's an interesting idea, I think.
Like, did he already know that Barry was going to leave then? Is that why he said, you're not going to like this?
I don't know. I mean, it's just one of those... It might be one of those things with, like, you can't mess with time or reality. When you do, things are correcting themselves. Didn't Wells say that? Like, things end up correcting themselves.
I know that's been a thing in other time traveling
No,
things.
it was in this, wasn't it? Wasn't it in...
I don't remember. I know it's been a thing in time travel, like, shows and stuff.
I think they were dealing with that in season 1, and if that's the case, then maybe the idea of Barry's dad not being able to be in his life, it's correcting itself that way, and maybe that's what Reverse Flash's warning was about. Like, you're not going to get what you want.
I mean, if he needs to be the Flash, and he can only do that if his father and mother weren't there, then it's going to correct itself to still make his father and mother not present.
Yeah.
So maybe something like that.
That could be something.
Maybe he just has an idea of how time works because he's been around with it longer, and
yeah,
that could be the issue.
Okay.
Billy Lawrence, which I think he had some stuff in the last Q&A that we had.
Yeah, he's
not for Flash, but for like
he
S.H.I.E.L.D.
comments
and stuff,
a lot more stuff.
Do you guys think that Barry will end up fighting Jay Garrick or perhaps training with him? I feel like Jay seems to be more experienced based on his demeanor.
Yeah, he also seems a little older than Barry too. I would say, I have to say that he's going to take the place of Harrison Wells a little bit and kind of mentor Barry.
Do you think he's going to be around for a while? He's not just like stopping in to give some advice and then leave real quick?
I think that he's...
Because, like, what about his reality? His reality has no Flash to defend anything. You know what I mean?
I mean, he came here for a reason. To warn that your reality is in danger. I don't think he's just going to say that, like, all right, well, good luck, and just leave.
Maybe it's because his arch nemesis is Zoom. So Zoom left to here, so he's here warning us of Zoom. So maybe he just sticks around to help fight that nemesis.
Yeah.
So it could be nice if he kind of becomes a mentor and teaches him his powers.
I would enjoy that.
That'd be really cool. I would like that.
About Barry, he needs to keep getting faster.
That's what I would hope would happen. Is that Jay Garrick maybe stays around for like half the season, kind of being a mentor type, kind of teaching him what to happen.
Yeah, I could see maybe 3 to 4 episodes is what I guess.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Kunal Singh asks, do you guys think the Flash team is a little bit hypocritical?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, last season when Flash would say that something Arrow would do better, Joe would say that Flash is not like Arrow and we don't kill people, or Flash would look on shocked when Oliver tortured someone for information. But in this episode, they killed Atom Smasher with no remorse.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see what you're saying.
I was pretty... I immediately thought of that. Like, they just microwaved this guy to death.
Do we know that he's dead, though?
Yeah.
He seemed like he died
he
there.
Died, yeah. I don't think that they would have what they did and then say, oh, he's alive. Because he looks like he was just dead.
Maybe. I mean, maybe we're getting a little bit darker with the
I
Flash
guess?
or something like that. With whatever's going on. I mean, you said about being like a demon Zoom and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to be a little darker than it was. Like, it's going to be like it's going to be kind of a flip because Arrow's kind of going more lighthearted. Maybe they're going to take a little bit darker approach with Flash.
Maybe. I just think that it was just... I don't know. Did they have any other choice but to microwave him to death in that giant microwave? Where'd they get that microwave?
It's there at the nuke plant.
Is it?
It was like some kind of nuclear thing that they did.
Okay.
I would say it's something was like in Twister. They had something where like there was all these nuke things that if the Twister hit, it was going to destroy the whole town, and they had to like stop them and maybe something like that.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, but yeah, I was uncomfortable with him just being dead. But I suppose that if he was left alive, they'd have to question him. But I did kind of wish it was like maybe his own fault that he died versus like them just turning on that switch.
Well, what options did they have though at the same time? Because like even when they were fighting in the middle of the park with no radiation around, he absorbed radiation from like somewhat nearby hospital. Like, every time he's grown, it hasn't been just because there was radiation like it was in radiation somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't know if they'd be able to take care of him or do something else with him. You know.
I don't know. I mean...
And he was, like, near invincible, he seemed.
Yeah, but have him get him really big and knock him over into the Empire State Building or something.
And kill him by knocking him off something?
Well, have him trip over the Sears Tower.
Make him kill himself?
Yeah. I don't know. I was a little uncomfortable, but I still accept it.
Yeah, I don't think there was another option they could do. That's what I think it comes down to.
Yeah.
Because he seemed almost invincible.
Mm-hmm.
He could grow super tall. I still am not 100% convinced that he's dead. I think somehow he might come back or something.
We'll see.
I don't know. I think that they just did what they had to do because there was no other alternatives.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, I like Kunal. It looks like Castiel
Yeah.
with wings. I love Supernatural. So.
Oh, it's Icon.
Yeah, there's a little
Okay,
icon there.
that's cool.
Omega Delta Phoenix mentions that
Awesome name.
Mercury Labs was mentioned in the mid-season finale. Man in the yellow suit. The Reverse Flash kills the lab people to steal the tachyon device to increase his speed.
So Mercury Labs is like that. Isn't there like there's like one woman in here? Like remember there's like a female scientist lady that I think she's the head of Mercury Labs. Apparently that actress used to be on the old Flash show, and they like kind of brought her back.
Okay.
She's like a blonde.
I was
girl.
thinking there was something with Mercury Labs back when they had the whole maybe because after watching it, I was kind of thinking about it more. The Bug episode,
Yeah.
the villain that was the Bug woman. I was thinking there
Yeah,
was
Beth from
Beth?
Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking that in that episode there was something involving Mercury Labs
Okay,
there too,
yeah.
but I couldn't remember exactly.
Yeah, apparently it's just one of those things that we've just always missed. Never
Yeah.
talked about.
Damian Murray says this season has me somewhat confused as it fails to address the single most important issue. The timeline was not reset, which I did kind of start thinking about this a little bit. With Reverse Flash erased from history, all of his actions should have been erased as well. I was thinking that the wormhole would have been averted, but it would be followed by a massive reset of the timeline, and only Cisco would have any knowledge of what had happened.
Yeah.
None of what transpired in this episode makes any sense when you take that into consideration.
Now, I gotta say, I kind of agree here because they made a big point to show, oh my gosh, he's being erased from history, and he's like going all over the place, and going out. If that was the case, how did he shouldn't have any effect to that reality then, right?
Yeah.
Like, he shouldn't have a video that he made to free Barry's mom because he didn't exist.
True. Well, Harrison Wells existed, but he didn't.
Yeah, but he's obviously talking as Reverse Flash.
Here's what my thought was, because I was thinking about this after watching it, because I was kind of wondering
Yeah.
some of the same stuff, because I didn't know how they were going to do it after the end of last season happened. I think that the singularity, the wormhole thing that happened, was working to revert all the time, like changes that need to be made.
Yeah.
It's like maybe people that shouldn't exist or things that shouldn't happen.
And they stopped
It was
that
sucking it
happening.
all in, and it was going to change all that.
Yeah.
Rather than just destroy everything, it was reverting time to make it to what it should have been.
Okay.
Because like, they're not going to go back in time and have things change. So it would have to be in the present, and I think that was the way it was going to change.
So the
But since they
wormhole was
stopped
doing
it-
that.
I think since they stopped
Okay.
it, it tried to start doing some of that stuff, but never finished doing everything. That was my thought on it.
Okay.
Now maybe not. Like I don't know what all was getting stuck in the wormhole.
I
but
honestly really like that idea. Like, so reality was trying to correct itself. They stopped it.
So now you kind of have like this.
So now you have like
half and half thing where like, I think Gideon disappeared too and was
Yeah.
gone. Reverse Flash is gone, but some of the effects that he had done in the past still are there.
Okay.
Now, at the same time, though, I don't know how like they'd bring someone back who was already dead, or how that would work with the wormhole. But
Yeah.
I think that that's what that was trying to do. And at least in my head, that was my kind of like reasoning behind it.
That's a really interesting, and I almost completely. That's my headcanon right now. until they say otherwise, that's pretty much how it went. I think.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that might work.
Okay. I think we have one more.
There's one more thing here by Deathcraft.
Uh-huh.
Here's a Q&A question of Do you love Flash?
Nah.
It's all right.
No. Okay, guys, that was the Q&A, the first Q&A to The Flash on CW, which is an awesome show. We love it so much. We love talking about it with you guys. So, today is Tuesday. You guys, this goes up in the morning, so you guys have all the time in the world to watch it until tonight. You guys can watch our Q&A, and then you can watch The Flash, see if anything has been answered, have all new theories and comments and stuff like that. So make sure you guys are subscribed so you can see every episode of The Flash reaction and Q&A. All right, until next time, I'm Eric,
I'm Aaron.
and we'll see you guys next time.
There's no button.